When Jesus said, if they don't cry out, the rocks will, there was more scientific fact about that than you can ever imagine. Because in his presence, the one who, the perfect one, can't help but cry out or sing. So let's switch gears again. You can turn this up now. Kind of keep that in the background. Psalm 66:4. All the earth bows down to you. They sing praise to you. They sing praise to your name, Selah. Psalm 145:10. All you have made, everything, all inclusive, all you have made will praise you, O Lord. Everything. Psalm 69:34. Let heaven and earth praise him, the seas and all that move in them. All the creepy crawly things even praise God. Yeah. What you're hearing right now is the sound that Jupiter makes. All the time. They picked this up with a Voyager spacecraft. Sound doesn't travel through space, but they pick it up electromagnetically and then they translate it into audible tone. That's what it would sound like. In fact, everything in the universe is making a different tone. Everything. Here's one of your percussive instruments. Or actually, this is Saturn. Saturn, if you can't see it real well here, but right at the very, well, on one of the poles, they have a perfect hexagon in the clouds. And how's that happen? A perfect hexagon. That means it's got, angles. I actually get a perfect hexagon on my round plate when I play a specific frequency into it. Here's one of your percussive instruments, Alpha Centauri. Dano's going to take and mix a whole CD of this stuff and make a song out of it. Yeah. That's what Alpha Centauri sounds like all the time. Which brings us to our next section, DNA songs. If it's true that God's saying the world into existence, it makes sense why it's all mathematically correct and everything, right? Because it would be congruent. You can't have chaos and get the things that we get here, all of these objects and all the stuff that's going on. You can't have chaos in a sense and have all this light bouncing around in this room, and yet it comes to your eyes representing the things that it has touched. If you do that with sand of different color, you put them all in a box and you shake it, it all goes together, you can never get it apart again. It's pretty interesting that they say light bounces around. I don't believe it does. I believe it actually moves energy from one part of like a matrix to another part. And it's all uniform. That literally we will ourselves into one part of that thing when we move. Especially when you think about the whole idea, it's like, here we have this thing now where scientists are going, wow, these particles, they only do things when we, they only show up when we look for them, or they become whatever they become, the way we look at them, and the whole bit. There's more to the fact that you control or have the ability to change this world and create things here just with your imagination than you could ever imagine. Here's the song, DNA song of the swan. Now there is some artistic license here. Some of they can determine what kind of instruments they're going to use and all that kind of stuff, but the timing and the instruments are all determined by how they associate certain things to certain protein strands and the whole thing. It's really complicated. I don't know how to describe it to you. But it's interesting to me that they take this DNA and it plays a congruent song. And it just so happens that song is kind of the soundtrack you would expect to see for a song, right? Could it be that when we tap in to creating songs, that we're actually tapping in to the song that may have created that thing. Maybe we're playing the song that was in God's heart when He said, "Let there be a swan." How about a dolphin? That's what I want to cry up in the heavens. How about a human being? That's my granddaughter when she was real little. This isn't her song, but it's a basic DNA song for humans. About you, but the first time and several times after I heard these songs, I cried every time I heard them. Because I came to the realization that everybody in this room, our basic DNA structure, like certain things like your adrenal gland, whatever, would play the same song. But when it comes to the part of your family that's in your DNA, everybody's song is different. Right? So that means that there's this one song for all of humanity. And within that one song is all these choruses that are being played. And every one of you is a different chorus. Even different from your parents. Because you're a unique expression. Not only in your DNA, but in the frequency that your body emits. Are you guys getting a hold of the fact of how important you are? How much you mean to the heart of God, and how important it is to say the right things. God came here and He said, "Subdue the earth," and then after we fell, He came back and goes, "No, let me fix this for you. I'm going to give you a new covenant. I'm going to give you an example on how to do it. Now you guys do it, and I'll be back." Because He loves you so much that He wants you to be a part of bringing heaven to earth. When we talk about all of these things that are happening now, these weird things like gyms showing up in people's houses. We had a young couple here that gyms would just appear in their house all the time. That's really weird. It's a sign and a wonder. You wonder why it's happening. But and the thing to me though is that's interesting. It's kind of like with the cornstarch. When you blow on it, you breathe on it. You're breathing on a sound that's affecting a material. A portal opens up. You know, before we used to be the miserable wretches saved by grace. Not feeling that what we had to say was important. But we've come into an era now where we're believing that maybe we are important, that maybe what we have to say actually does change things. And the more that we make the declaration that the kingdom of heaven is at hand, instead of, "Oh, I'm just a miserable wretch, I'm just lucky to get through the door," that the veil between heaven and earth gets thinner and thinner. And that we literally are opening up portals where things are getting kicked across from one place to the other.